Tang Sanzang said, I'll give you a Dharma name, which I can easily call. The monkey replied, I already have a Dharma name, Sun Wukong. Tang Sanzang happily said, this name is in line with our sect. I'll give you a nickname, Monkey. How about it? Wukong happily agreed. Lu Buqin congratulated Tang Sanzang on gaining a good disciple. Tang Sanzang thanked him and they bid farewell. Wukong helped Tang Sanzang onto the horse and carried the luggage ahead. After crossing the Turom mountain, they suddenly saw a fierce tiger roaring towards them. Tang Sanzang was frightened and fell off the saddle. Wukong, however, exclaimed happily, Master, don't be afraid. It's bringing close for me. Wukong took out a needle from his ear, flicked it in the wind, turning it into an iron rod the thickness of a bowl. He struck the tiger on the head, and its brains splattered instantly. Tang Sanzang couldn't help but admire, I didn't expect you to have such abilities. Wukong smiled, I, Sun Wukong, have many skills in subduing dragons and tigers. Even if it's a tiger, it's like facing a dragon when it meets me. After all, it's just a tiger. Seeing me, it wouldn't dare to act recklessly. With that, Wukong plucked a hair and turned it into a sharp knife, gutting the tiger. Wukong peeled off a piece of tiger skin, tied it around his waist with rattan, and covered his lower body. Then he said to Tang Sanzang, Master, let's go on our way first. We can sew it up when we reach a house. The master and disciple chatted as they walked, and before they knew it, dusk was approaching. Wukong spotted a courtyard ahead and said to Tang Sanzang, Master, there's a household ahead. Let's go and stay for the night. When they arrived at the courtyard, Tang Sanzang dismounted, and Wukong went to knock on the door. An old man opened the door and was frightened by Wukong's appearance, exclaiming, a ghost is coming, a ghost is coming. Tang Sanzang hurriedly said, Old sir, don't be afraid. He is my disciple, not a ghost. Seeing Tang Sanzang's unusual appearance, the old man steadied himself. Tang Sanzang explained, I am a monk from the Tang dynasty, traveling to the Western Heaven to worship Buddha and seek scriptures. Passing through this place, it's already late, so we've come to seek lodging. The old man invited them into the house and arranged a vegetarian meal for them. After dinner, Wukong asked the old man for some needles and thread. After sewing up the tiger skin and tying it around his waist with rattan, Wukong saw a white monk's robe on Tang Sanzang and asked, Master, how does Wukong look in this attire compared to yesterday? Seeing Wukong's delight, Tang Sanzang gave him the monk's robe. Wukong thanked his master and went to find some grass to feed the horse. The next day, Wukong packed up their luggage, and Tang Sanzang mounted his horse. The two bid farewell to the old man and continued westward. After traveling for a while, they heard a whistle, and 6 people wielding weapons jumped out of the road, blocking their way. They shouted, Monk, stop! Leave your belongings and horses, and we'll spare your life. Tang Sanzang fell off his horse in fright. Wukong comforted Tang Sanzang, saying, Master, don't be afraid. They are giving us clothes and money. Wukong stepped forward and shouted, You bandits! Give me half of the treasures you robbed, and I'll spare your lives. The bandits were furious and attacked Wukong with their weapons, but he didn't react at all. Wukong laughed, You're tired from attacking, now it's my turn. He took out the golden cudgel from his ear, which could change its size at will. The bandits were terrified and fled in all directions. Wukong chased after them and killed all 6 bandits. Wukong stripped their clothes and took their money, then returned to Tang Sanzang with a smile. Tang Sanzang, naturally compassionate, couldn't help but scold him, although they are bandits, they don't deserve to die. How can you lack any compassion? Wukong had never been so frustrated before. Hearing Tang Sanzang's nagging, he couldn't suppress his anger and said, Since Master says I can't be a monk and can't go to the Western Heaven, then Sun Wukong will leave. With that, he leaped away to the east. When Tang Sanzang looked up, Wukong was already out of sight. He could only gather their luggage, place it on the horse, hold the Zen stick in one hand, and the reins in the other, and continue westward alone. Not long after, an old woman carrying a cotton coat and a flower hat approached on the mountain road. Seeing her approaching, Tang Sanzang quickly led the horse aside. The old woman asked, "Elder, where are you from, and why are you traveling alone here?" Tang Sanzang, seeing the kindness in her eyes, recounted his journey to her. After hearing Tang Sanzang's story, the old woman said, "I have a cotton coat and a flower hat here. They belong to my son, who became a monk for only 3 days before passing away. Since you have a disciple, I'll give these clothes to him." Tang Sanzang explained that his disciple had already left, so he couldn't accept them. The old woman said, "He will surely come back to you. Let me teach you a spell called the tightening spell. Remember it well. If he refuses to be disciplined, silently recite the spell, and he won't dare to act rashly or leave again." After teaching Tang Sanzang the tightening spell, the old woman transformed into a golden light and flew away to the east. Tang Sanzang realized it was Guanyin Bodhisattva and quickly paid his respects. Then, he put the clothes and hat into his bag and sat by the roadside, memorizing the tightening spell. Meanwhile, Wukong, having left his master, arrived at the Eastern Ocean. The Dragon King hurriedly led his dragon sons and grandsons out to greet him. The Dragon King said to Wukong, "I heard that the great sage was dissatisfied, perhaps wanting to reorganize Flower Fruit Mountain and return to Water Curtain Cave?" Wukong sighed, "I have been persuaded by Guanyin Bodhisattva to do good and have accompanied Tang Sanzang from the east to the western heaven to worship Buddha. Now, I have become a monk." The Dragon King exclaimed, "Congratulations! Since that's the case, why have you returned?" Wukong chuckled, "I got annoyed with some bandits who bothered the monk, so I returned. I also came to see you and have a cup of tea." The Dragon King quickly had tea served. After drinking tea, Wukong noticed a painting on the wall and asked about it. The Dragon King explained, "This painting is called Zhang Liang picking up shoes 3 times at Yi Bridge." He then recounted the story of how Zhang Liang, during the Han Dynasty, served Huang Shigong 3 times and ultimately achieved success. After hearing the story, Wukong pondered for a moment before saying, "Old Dragon King, no need to say more. Son Wukong will protect Tang Sanzang on his journey." The Dragon King was delighted and said, "In that case, great sage, you should go soon." Wukong bid farewell to the Dragon King, left the Eastern Sea, and flew west on a cloud. While traveling, Wukong encountered Guanyin Bodhisattva. She asked, "Son Wukong, why aren't you protecting Tang Sanzang? What are you doing here?" Startled, Wukong hurriedly bowed to Guanyin Bodhisattva in the clouds, saying, "I will go to protect him right away." Guanyin said, "That's good, hurry." Before long, Wukong arrived by Tang Sanzang's side. Seeing his master sitting by the roadside looking dejected, Wukong approached and asked, "Master, why aren't we on the road? What are you doing here?" Tang Sanzang looked up and said, "Where did you go? I didn't dare to leave, so I had to wait here for you." Wukong replied, "I just went to the Eastern Sea to have tea with the Dragon King." Tang Sanzang said, "You've only been gone for an hour. How did you go to the Dragon King's palace for tea?" Wukong laughed, "I can travel thousands of miles with one somersault, so I can come and go quickly." Seeing his master hungry, Wukong offered to prepare a meal. Tang Sanzang said, "No need, I still have some dry food in my bag. Just fetch some water with the bowl, and I'll eat some before we continue the journey." Wukong opened the bag and handed Tang Sanzang a few coarse cakes. Seeing a cotton robe and a golden laid hat in the bag, Wukong liked them very much and asked, "Master, are these from the Eastern land?" Tang Sanzang replied, "These are what I used to wear. If you like them, you can have them."